Hi, this is a reflection on lesson 363 in A Course in Miracles. And again, it's the 361 through 365 all say the same thing. So it's just whatever I feel like reflecting on from the lesson is what will come out of the mouth. So this says, "This holy instant would I give to you, be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace." So what hit me that I want to reflect on is the first line. Maybe I already said this. I don't remember. "And if I need a word to help me, he will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will he also give." And it made me think about the way through the course of this year I've noticed. Sit down. I keep coming back to the spot. This year I've thought I've been more okay in the unknowing. I've noticed that trend toward that space where it's like, it made me laugh because, and if I need a thought, basically it will come to me. So if I need to have the thought, it'll be there. If I don't, it won't be. And I think about that a lot because now I'm in menopause and my thoughts are always leaving me. And I'm like, finally to that place of like, oh well, instead of like even trying. I used to like try to retrace my steps or go back, like walk backwards into a room and then back into the room I was in to see if it would come to me. And sometimes I would feel frustrated by that. But I can't even remember how long now, but now I'm just like, oh well, if I'm supposed to think about it, if I'm supposed to have that thought, it'll be here. And if I'm not, it won't be here. And then usually it'll come back, I think. And then also in a like a less funny way, I just am more comfortable in the uncertainty of everything. I'm uncertain about everything. I'm uncertain about what's going to happen next. I'm uncertain about what I even want to happen next. I'm uncertain about everything. I'm even uncertain about the past. When I was thinking about the future, of course I'm uncertain about the future, but I'm also uncertain about the past, meaning, when I heard that, they've researched it. If you revisit a memory, each time you revisit it, you're changing it in some way based on how you're feeling in the present moment. Like how today, when I revisit that memory, it might seem the same memory I'm revisiting, but I'm actually changing it in some way according to how I'm feeling right now. And I'm like, ooh, interesting. So I'm even uncertain that the memories that keep coming back around, good, bad, whatever, are they even accurate? Because I think about so much I've forgotten in my life. Like I have no recollection of so much. And then I have some recollection, but only if something triggers it. But even I have forgotten so much. So I'm so uncertain about my own past, my own history, my own life. And but anyway, being uncertain mostly about what's going to happen, and then letting up what that's led to is like just relinquishing any form of control I thought I was trying to have over anything, because control is an illusion. And that's part of Course in Miracles. It talks about that, I think, off and on throughout. And it's so true. And I think my personal version of trying to control things was like a hypervigilance. Like, okay, everything's got to be okay. Everybody's got to feel good. Everybody's got to like each other. Can't have any drama. Can't have any tension. And that's just like a trauma response and hypervigilance. And that led into like people pleasing just to make sure everybody was okay. And then also through the so yeah, that's about control, loosening control. And then that leads to like just being okay, being uncertain, because anything can happen at any moment. And a lot has happened this year, and like, just when I think back, I'm like, by not like by being okay with uncertainty, those really kind of tragic moments that happened this year didn't feel so tragic. It just felt like, okay, and this is happening, and we're going to move through it. We're going to do the things that we need to do to bring everybody back to an okay state. And it just moved more smoothly somehow by, and I think that came from just constantly working on this and realizing, like, just healing all of that. Not all of it. There's still so much. There's still so much more, which I'll keep doing it. But this was a big year for working on myself, and it led in reflection to a lot of really, just a lot of peace. And I think that's probably the biggest thing with this book that I'm reflecting on, is a lot more peace. And it's just like peace in my mind. I never felt stressy before, and like, I'm not one of those like high anxiety kind of, I never felt that. But now that there's a new baseline of peacefulness and equanimity and being okay with uncertainty, being okay with the unknowing, then I look back at how I've been up to now, and I'm like, well, yeah, I probably was a little stressy. And then some point I'll look back at this moment and be like, well, you still had some in there. And that's been another thing with these reflections, is that there is no steady state. There's always a new floor to drop out. There's no landing spot. There's nowhere to land. And it's one of those things I think about pretty often now, because I want to be able to encapsulate it with the right words. And I don't think there are any words that it's not coming to me yet. Back to the word. If I'm meant to have the word, it'll come to me. But I feel like I've tried to describe it through these videos in different ways, and nothing does it justice. This feeling that it's okay that there's no landing spot. Everything's constantly in flux. Even my own thoughts about things are constantly in flux, and it depends. It's like each moment is so unique that, why are we trying to predict? Why are we trying to summarize? Why are we trying to categorize? It's just a human mechanism, like this thing that happens, even though, like, there is no steady state. There is no place to land and take a breath for a moment. We're just constantly. So the more, I think, one thing with this book is, like, the more I can just be okay in all of that and not feel like I have to, like, stabilize my life, my surroundings, my environment, my thoughts. Like, I don't need to stabilize anything. Okay, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna do this justice. But I just like to say, there is no such thing as a landing. There's no such thing. And when we try to land, it hurts. It doesn't feel good when all of that trying to stabilize things and, like, make sense of things, and, like, and really what it comes down to is, like, having a viewpoint. Like, if I try to stabilize things so I can have a perspective and form an opinion, and then create this world around that about how I feel about things, it's like all built on illusion. It's like what they say, house of cards. It's just false. It's fragile. It's not even useful. And so this whole year, I feel like, has been about just recognizing that there is nowhere to land, and it's okay. I'm comfortable in the free fall now. of just like whatever happens, happens, because I know that I'll move through it as I'm meant to move through it, as whatever, however equipped I am, that's how I will meet the thing that happens. And I don't like the old me used to be the old me, like I'm new, but when I think back to prior to this year of working on this, um, there was like this, oh, I gotta know more. Like I love learning. That hasn't changed. I have like this insatiable appetite for just like being fascinated by things, but I have no recall ability. So I shouldn't say no, but I'm exaggerating. So, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to learn. But there was a part of me in the past that wanted so badly to be able to recall stuff and file it away and pull it out at the right moment and have this information at the ready. And part of, I think, why I felt the need to go to certain programs in school was to gain knowledge in an area so that I could be validated or prove something to people or to myself. And now especially going through these trainings the last couple of years, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it would be nice to be able to recall everything in the moment because I am a practitioner and I'm learning things to be able to be of use to my clients. But I'm like, you know what? It'll come out if it's meant to come out. And if it's not, it's not. And then I'll just, because I know I'll never stop learning and I'll never stop reading and I'll never stop listening, I'll never stop watching. So why try to control and categorize and file stuff away so that I can recall when I know that recall has never been my strong suit? So that's been another thing about this lesson. The line today in this lesson that hit me was like, and if I need a thought, if I need help with a thought, it will come. And it's sort of a form of trust. It's like a trust in that, you know, could it be better if I had all that recall? And I'm still so fascinated by people that have that, and they're like, and they pull out the perfect quote at the perfect time or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And then, but if it doesn't happen with me in the moment when I need it, that's okay. The moment will be what it is anyway. It just may not have that extra ta-da, perfect quote landed, boom. Because you know what? The other thing related to this is kind of a long and winding reflection. It's all related, is in my work with people where it's highly like, how are we showing up today? We're different every day. Our nervous systems are different every, like, what is at the surface today that we want to address, work on, look at? So it's like, I could never predict what's going to walk through my door over there. Like, I could never predict. I know the person who's on my schedule, but I have no idea what's actually coming in that door. And through the course of miracles this year, I've become way more okay with that in the uncertainty. And that's been such a blessing because the more grounded in my body, the more regulated in my nervous system I am. That's probably the number one thing that is more useful than any amount of recall for my clients. And so coming to that real felt understanding this year, I mean, I knew it, but this year has been like, oh, feels good. It feels good when I don't get nervous or like, oh God, what's coming at me, even though it wasn't that dramatic, but there was a certain level of like, oh gosh, I should probably like be prepared in some way, even knowing that there's no way to prepare for what's going to come out of someone's mouth, what emotional release might happen or not happen, and even my clients, they'll come in with saying that, well, here, I know this is going to happen today, like some emotional release. And then more often than not, it won't. It's like, I swear there's this. So it's like even their expectations change. It might be a different thing that happens. It might be a totally different topic that actually comes up in session. And so it's like, how am I going to predict when they can't even predict? And it's their system. So I'm like, yay, it's very liberating. And so all my training and everything, I just keep consuming like that voracious appetite of, ooh, knowledge and fascination and all the things that I love to learn. It's all gonna be in here like a messy soup, and then I'll just trust that the tool will emerge in the moment when it is needed. So that's been one of the greatest things that's really settled this year. So I think I'll just end with that one because I think I have two more reflections on this exact same lesson. We'll see what comes up next time. Bye.